Okay, so about 3 years ago, I shot this movie for YouTube called Edible Dandelion and Fake Dandelion Identification, Help and Facts. And it's part of the $30 Bandit series on YouTube. You can subscribe to that, but I usually put out videos under Nebsterism, Nebsterism, Neb, as in Ben backwards, Nebsterism. If you go to the www.consciousazine.com website or playlist, you'll find me. So if you just typed in here, consciousazine, there you go, consciousazine.com. Anyway, so in this video, I believe I found flatweed, which is also called catsear, which a few people commented saying that I was wrong. And like I was saying, I was in a rush at the time, and it turns out that these are not dandelions.
Hello everyone, Benjamin Cowenberg from consciousazine.com.
So I'm going to show you part of my video because I had a really good segment here which I haven't seen too many on too many other videos on the actual benefits of dandelion there, where you can see I've got the paper out, a printout from the internet. And I'm also going to show you this lady's video up here identifying the flatweed or catsear. But so we'll just take a quick look at the ones I found. So they're not dandelions, they're catsears because they come from multiple stems. And also you'll notice the catsears have way taller stems. They're not as stubby and short as the actual dandelion. Apparently you can eat the catsear as well, says this lady. Some people say that it's poisonous down here in my comments, so you might want to further research that for yourself. Luckily I didn't eat those that day, I just shot the video for it. So let's just go to the segment where I actually read off the properties of it. Because I've got a bit of an update coming to this video, which is actual dandelions I've found now that I'm here in Uruguay. They're actually growing here in Uruguay, just down the road everywhere.
Mawilumbar, going to Mawilumbar and Nimbin, and so good for treating high blood pressure. The dandelion tea helps reduce high cholesterol. Yeah, they have a high nutritional value. Let me just forward to the end. Well, I read this morning, I can't see it right now, but I read this morning that the dandelions have got 5 times more vitamin K than spinach and 3 times more vitamin A. So I mean, have a pick of the dandelion. Just make sure you properly identify them.
Another added point would be, don't pick dandelions from the side of the road because people might spray weed spray there, and also the toxic fumes from the cars.
So now, and you know, you can see these things are really easy to pick off and take home and put that under a few centimeters of good soil, and I'm sure they'll come up, you know, and it's fun for the kids. So we're just going to head off, and I'm going to shoot a few other videos. I hope that.
So yeah, they help lower blood sugar, and I had a whole list there. Let me see if I mentioned more.
So these are all the things that dandelions are good for. Diabetes as well, so look into that, type 1 and 2. Shown to lower blood sugar levels. So I'm at the turnoff at Mawilumbar.
Okay, so vitamin K, vitamin A, help blood sugar levels. Now let's go to this lady's video and just watch this one.
Hey everyone, this is Lee from wildplantforager.com, and today I want to introduce you to catsear, also known as flatweed. And as you can see, this is a dandelion lookalike, but it has one huge difference, and as you can see here, it has a forked stem, so it can have 2 or more flowers on one stem, whereas dandelion always has 1 flower on each stem. And here you can see the leaves, and they are also quite different. Here you can see the dandelion leaves. They're all dandelion leaves, even though they look a little bit different, but they're all dandelion. And here I have lined up some cat's ears leaves. And the main difference, there's a little difference in the shape there, as you can see. But the main difference is that these plants have hairy leaves, and dandelions always have smooth leaves. They actually may remind you a little bit of the inside of a cat's ear, why they are called cat's ear. And you can just feel them, and if you rub the leaves of dandelion, you can really feel that there are not any hairs at all. So this is a good way to tell the difference. And another way to tell the difference is that dandelions mostly flower in May, and when dandelions are finished, then cat's ears start to flower. And it's really now, it's June here, and this is really their time to flower. You can eat them both, so you can use flatweed the same way you would use dandelion. You can use the roots. In winter you could roast them and make like a coffee replacer, or you can cook the root and eat them like that. You can eat the leaves before the plant flowers, and they're a great addition to salads or to green juices. And you can also, and this is now really the time, these are the flower buds. You can either pickle them or just eat like they are. And if you pickle them, they really can be replaced, they can be used as capers, so that's really a great way to use them. And the flowers can be eaten like that in salads, or you can turn them into fritters, or one other way is to make cat's ear lemonade. I'm going to put...
Sorry, just had a power cut. Let's continue.
And they're very well known at the Italian and Greek and even Korean cuisine, so they're really worth a try.
Okay, so anyway, some people say that these cat's ears are a bit poisonous, so you might want to research into it. Let's just have a really quick look at dandelion on Wikipedia, because the whole reason I made that first video... Okay, so the whole reason I made that video on dandelions was because when I was researching it online, I found that there were like 5 other similar or fake dandelions, and there was, I think, 2 or 3 of them that were actually listed as toxic. Jump to false dandelions. Yeah, let's have a look. We'll jump to that quickly. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, here's a little list, I think, of fake dandelions, because it jumped us to here. So last time I looked there was only 6, so it looks like there's a few more now. So 60 species. Yeah, they've mentioned cat's ear. Something about the similarity to colt's foot. Similar flowers include hawkweeds and hawk's beards. Anyway, I need to find again this little list that I found. Yeah, let's go to this one. Alright, so the Wikipedia page has changed. Maybe this is it. Well, it's changed, but when I was on Wikipedia 3 years ago, there was a section where they listed about 6 similar lookalikes, and I can't remember the name. I think this was one of them. You know, I don't want to say, but I remember one with a H, so maybe it was the hawkweed, I can't remember. But the point was that 2 or 3 of them were actually poisonous, so just make sure you look through this list and check out, you know, how they look similar, and how to differentiate. For instance, see there's no leaves down there like the dandelions, and that's a really thin stem. Dandelion has a quite thick stem, as you'll see in my video coming up in a second. So as you can see, you need to do a little bit of research, because look at all the species there, for instance. You shouldn't just go out and look, that's a little bit different to a dandelion. I can see how you would mistake it as a dandelion, because the dandelion has a sort of shorter stem like that, and you know, similar flower, but the leaves are completely different on this one. If we go to crepus here, again the leaves are totally different. See how they're not punctated, they're not like a saw. The dandelion leaves I've found are always like a saw. So you can see here there's a few that are similar. I don't know which ones are toxic, you can do that in your own time, but I do remember seeing a list years ago and 3 of them were quite toxic. Again, the leaves are different, stems thinner. So you just get a knack for this, you know, and completely different flower for that one. So you just get a knack for this, and after a little while you can identify it, you know, the dandelion versus any of these fake dandelions very, very quickly. You just get to know it, you know. So there you go, there are a few lookalikes. Oh, now that one really does look quite alike because the leaves are a bit like a saw. However, the stems look a little bit different. So do be careful, but yeah, that one looks pretty much like a dandelion. That looks quite similar actually. Let's have a closer look. So yeah, you could definitely mistake that for dandelion, except see how it's got all these, it's got many stems coming out of it. Usually you'll only find, say, about 1, 2 or 3 separate stems coming out of the dandelion because it's got, say, 3 different balls coming off the same root. So, but I've never seen a dandelion with that many, like up to 10, and the dandelion will never have, you know, like a stem that comes up and then forks out. That's the cat's ear. So there you go, there's a little bit of help on the identification, and that's the whole reason I created that first video. I think I'm actually going to take down this video now and replace it with the video I'm currently making. So that's the old video, and you're watching the new video.
Okay, so in one of the first videos I made on the $30 Bandit food plant teaching series, I showed you a dandelion identification and facts and help video where I got it wrong. And hey, stop it. And in that, no, stop it. And in that video, someone under it commented, they're not dandelions, they said to me in my video, because they didn't have a single flower, they had multiple stemmed flowers. So on this one, and we're 100% sure that these are dandelions because they're everywhere here in Uruguay, and I just know these are. They've also got one other lady helped us pick them out as well, and they've also got one flower per little bunch here. See how it's got 3 little bunches coming off the one root? That's the exception. So remember, we pick these out for the roots because that's highly medicinal, anti-inflammatory and all this stuff, and I think it's even anti-cancerous. Isn't it funny what's right out front of your own door, right under your own feet, is the saviour. People looking up at the sky like something's going to save them from there. Anyway, so it's got that normal, the yellow dandelion flower. If we fold that out, you can see it a bit better. But it's there, it's just curled up. Because in that first video I actually was on the side of the road and they were not dandelions, and you can see how much thicker that this stem is, and it's a single stem out of each major bud point here, or stem point. See, that's got one flower, that's got one flower, and then that's got one flower. So only one flower per bunch of stem point. So yeah, and that's about how big the roots are. You just dry it out, don't heat it above 50 degrees, do it about 50, 60 tops, otherwise you're going to burn some of the compounds off. So you do not want to heat this in the oven over 60. I wouldn't even really use the oven unless you're opening and closing the oven to stop the heat going to like 100 degrees. And the best way would be use a dehydrator at a nice set even temperature. So yeah, this is the actual dandelion, and they grow wildly everywhere here in Uruguay. It's good. They were actually pretty difficult to find in Australia then, because I was looking at something different, and you notice the leaves are very similar to the ones that in that first video. Now when you're cleaning stuff like this that you forage, you always find there's this sticky dirt on the edge of things. Now it just so happens that it's not just Yakult.
Alright, so you know what I was going to finish saying there before the battery cut out. I face endless problems with the technology, as you can see. This is my page on Facebook, Whole Healing, part of consciousazine.com, subsidiary. Now, I just realised I'd go to this page because it has the perfect post on eating dirt, and what I was about to say was, and look, I'm making the video here, this is the segment you're just watching, where I'm talking about, I just went into, there's other probiotics than Yakult. I mentioned Yakult there quickly. What I was meaning to say was there's soil-based probiotics. And if you read this, for instance, that's from Dr. Axe's book, what's it called? Dr. Josh Axe, Eat Dirt, and it's about leaving, you can see there the carrots aren't fully clean. They haven't been dipped in bud nip or something at a supermarket to make them shiny and clean and get all the soil-based probiotics off the outside. That's right, soil-based probiotics. So in his book here, and he gives a few good points there, don't sanitize your food too much, eat probiotic foods like kefir, yogurt, sauerkraut, etc. You know, all these points on helping you with your probiotics. Now the point is, I like how he started. The idea of eating dirt has also been around for a long time, dating back to Hippocrates more than 2,500 years ago. You name the civilization in the past millennia, and you'll find a record of those people consciously including a bit of dirt in their diets. And today's generation is really missing out on this vitamin dirt in a big way, thanks to our collective obsession with over-sanitization and antibacterial overkill. Like, you know, continuously washing the dishes with sodium lauryl sulfites, you know, these carcinogenic compounds and stuff. And these aren't good for our probiotics, and this is like the opposite of taking probiotics. And this sanitizing of the hand gels, you know, too much. Yeah, when you need it, but not just every time. You know, every time you visit the bathroom, every time this, every time that, and you end up doing it 10 times a day. And germ-killing wipes and etc. Instead of using more natural means on the kitchen bench, like maybe some lemon and apple cider vinegar and stuff like that. Yeah, we've got a real obsession with this over-sanitization. Anyway, so the point was, that's what I was trying to get at. See how he's left here the little bits of dirt on the outside? That's what you want to do with the dandelion root. Now, that's too much dirt. You want to get it cut right back so that it still has a little bit of dirt, like specks on there. It kind of looks like it's still dirty, but it's just the outside layer of the bark on the root. And it's sort of mixed with the probiotics from the soil. So I'm not saying, you know, eat them fresh out of the ground like this. That might be too much. But when you wash them, don't over-sanitize them, is the point.
Alright, another technical difficulty. I was going to show myself on my webcam, but now my webcam won't work. Nothing wants to work around me. The grey aliens stop everything. So, you can see here how I've cleaned it. See, not too much, but see if you take it off, it's just really the bark. Like I've scrubbed this with only water, and that's how it's come out. So you can see it's like a little bit dirty-ish still, but not really. It's basically the bark, and that's the point. The soil-based probiotics actually help the roots of plants. Same with mycorrhizae, fungi. That might even be on there too. But all these little microorganisms, they help the root absorb nutrients. It's like when we take kombucha, sauerkraut, etc. for our gut, Yakult, whatever, all the probiotics for our gut, especially kombucha,
it actually helps us digest the food. It's the same with the plants, and so that's why we leave them on and get our vitamin dirt. So here's another cool video I found on Dandelion, and you can just read that while I'm just adding a little bit more info. And the more info I have to add is really just how to eat the dandelion. You can even just eat the root, roasting it up like a sort of tuber. You could just fry it up. You could boil it. The way I tend to eat my dandelion root now is just with tea. I find that this is really cleansing. It'll probably find its way to the liver a bit better. So I prefer dandelion root tea, and I definitely eat the leaves in a salad and do not waste the leaves. And you can also just get the blossom, cut off the green parts, so you just have the flower of the dandelion, and make a nice little tea with that with some honey, and that will taste pretty nice as well, and you'll still be getting some of the benefits from the dandelion. You know, the leaves really have a lot of the action. They have all the vitamin K and all the vitamin A, like I mentioned in my previous video. And then the root is more of a liver cleanser. It comes up in springtime, and this is even when the Chinese say that you know, it's a cleansing time of year in springtime, and that's funnily when the dandelion pops up as well. So there's just a few extra properties I thought I'd throw in besides what I already told you about the dandelion, so that you can just go ahead and eat it straight away, so you don't have to do too much research beyond this video. Enjoy! So check it out. Yep, that's the dandelion roots. Someone's cleaned them up. Cancer cells decompose after several weeks with the use of this herbal tea. Yeah, to say the dandelions are not appreciated enough is a gross understatement. I totally agree. Most people look straight past what's right under their feet and pray to a god above them. In Native American traditional medicine, the root of the dandelion is said to help the body break down fats during digestion, stimulate the liver, and promote the expulsion of waste. I definitely agree, because it's a brown coloured food. It's going to be good for your digestive system. Additionally, its leaves are high in folate, magnesium, phosphorus, and copper, vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, and I know vitamin K is in there. Yep, they've mentioned it. Thiamine, riboflavin, vitamin B6, which is good for blood. Remember that, like, works with blood, the peroxidin. Calcium, iron, potassium, and manganese. So because it's got iron, manganese, some vitamin B6, and magnesium, you know, it doesn't look half bad for the blood as well, and the copper. So there's just a case here that someone reckons that they healed their cancer with dandelion tea. So it doesn't look like a journal article entry or something, it just looks like a personal reference and story. However, not everyone at the university shared the same enthusiasm. One doctor, biochemistry professor, wasn't convinced of the weed's curative properties. Dr. Pandy said they were she or he was very pessimistic. Two people doesn't mean anything scientifically, but I was surprised to find that simple aqueous extract of this root had pretty good activity in inducing cell suicide in cancer cells. So it actually makes cell suicide in cancer cells, and that looks like that's a petri dish sort of thing, in vitro, because some professor of biochemistry is talking about it here. All 9 blood samples gave a good response that cancer cells committed suicide, said the doctor. So there you go. In 48 hours, more than 70% were committing suicide. If those cultures were kept for longer, all of them will die. This is our prediction. Why couldn't they just keep it for a little bit longer? Someone needed to use the laboratory. Make more laboratories. So the weed has been proven to be effective against pancreatic cancer, colon cancer, and melanoma cultures. It may even rival Taxol, one of the most commonly used drugs for chemotherapy. Plus, unlike traditional chemotherapy, dandelion extract target cancer cells specifically without harming other cells. So yeah, it's compared to the Taxol, this one, dandelion root, is 100 times better in terms of toxicity. And that's why I always send people to the natural cures, because they're better, they're non-toxic, so they're better. By definition, you're not getting all these side effects. Alright, hi guys, I was just looking for the edibility of acorns on the Natural Remedies Guru page, because I remember years ago making a post on acorns and you can eat them. So I'm just trying to find that post, and then I came across a dandelion post I forgot I made a few years ago. So let's just go through that one. It's on the Natural Remedies Guru page. Dandelion root extract is unique and is one of the only things found to help with chronic myelomonocytic leukemia, and it's effective in treating breast tumours. Detoxification of vital organs. Because of the diuretic abilities of dandelion root, it is beneficial for flushing out the liver, kidneys, and gallbladder. It works great to purify the blood and cleanse the system. This also makes it a good herb for fighting infections. Yeah, I definitely agree, it's got that property about it. It is also used for arthritis, osteoarthritis, gout, and rheumatism, or rheumatoid arthritis. And I would agree there. It's got a mildly sort of relaxing thing going on with it that'll take you out of rheumatoid too. Dandelion tea actively ameliorates disease. It is a potent disease fighter and helps the body heal, helps boost immunity and heart disease, and aged. So it doesn't help to boost the heart disease, but obviously it takes care of heart disease, and age-related memory loss. And I do feel that in there too. So this is important. That's why I always say, yes, I feel that, or no, I don't agree. Because, you know, you want to have spiritual vertical experience, not just horizontally reading from other people's words. You want to experience reality for yourself, right? So, treating anemia. Because of the high content of iron in dandelion root. Do you hear that? Veronica, there's high iron in dandelion root.
Wow.
So it's good for anemia too.
Good idea.
So if this post will stop loading, because the page is loading, sorry about this. I'm going to chase the post for a minute. Okay. So it's good for anemia as well, because it's got iron. And so it's a cleanser and a builder of blood. Treating diabetes. Dandelion root has been shown to lower blood sugar levels. I've already said that. Digestive system, we all know it's good for that. Anything brown is good for the digestive system, like brown roots are really good for the digestive tract. Treating high blood pressure. Dandelion root is a natural diuretic, which means it pulls stuff out of you, makes you pee more. When combined with its high potassium content, it is an effective treatment to lower blood pressure. Helps reduce high cholesterol, cleans you out, definitely has that sort of vibe and that sort of facet about it, that it goes through and cleans veins and stuff. It's a mood enhancer. I get a little bit of that. I wouldn't recommend it to treat depression, but yeah, you could throw it in there. Dandelion root's also used to treat skin disorders. Yes, I do take that from it as well. So for eczema and psoriasis and acne, so just have more dandelion root tea. I'm not sure if they're saying an extract of dandelion root will help if you put it directly on your face or not. That could be a good idea for you to do as well. So actually put the extract exactly on your face. It's very beneficial for menopausal women. So the women going through menopause, and it's a laxative as well, yep. It helps weight control, diuretic and laxative, of course it's going to help weight control. And look, I just had the blossom of the tea with goji berry and anaquita here in Uruguay, and anacahuita is like a mentholy, spearminty tree leaf. Now, that barely made it into the flavour. The flavour was like caramel, and it was like caramelized, I think, from the flavour of the really hot gojis, mixing with mainly the leaf, or the blossom of the dandelion. It was like a caramel taste. It was awesome. And that's without the honey I added. That was before I added any honey. So it was just a really nice taste for the blossom of the dandelion. Super yummy. I recommend you guys make something like that. Something like goji berry and then the blossom of this dandelion, a little bit of honey, and you'll be in heaven. So there's a few links and a few recipes. Now I'm sure that I made another post on this, so sorry, I'm just scrolling through to look for the acorn post at the same time. So this is just a page where I've put a lot of stuff on, you can see. This page really is about the particulars of each food, mainly like what's colloidal silver good for, so on and so forth, you know. What's activated charcoal good for, and cumin seed, etc. So that's what this page is a bit about. I don't know if it's loaded up properly, but coming down here, if you be patient for 1 second. Ah, there's the acorn post, cool. I found the acorn post too. So I'm just going to scroll down to the last dandelion post I made. There's information on cannabis oil up there and everything on this page. Good little page I put together. Here we go. So every single part of the dandelion, from the roots to the blossom, is edible. It's potassium, vitamins D, C, A, B. Remember, it's got 5 times more vitamin K than some spinaches, and 3 times more vitamin A. So it's actually a very rich leaf, and that's in the leaf mainly. It'll also be in the blossom a bit, but it'll be mainly in the leaf, especially before it goes to blossom, when it's all just being held in the leaf. According to research, dandelion extract strengthens the immune function and fights off microbes. I do feel that. A little bit of antimicrobial, antiparasitical action. It's like a clean feeling. As you get more healthier, you get to really feel these things for yourself. So when you read it, you're like, yep, I can feel that. Or, no, I don't think it does that. And so you discern through what other people are saying on the internet with your feeling. So it's not just brainwash, you actually felt it. So it's got beta-carotene, more than carrots, high antioxidants, regulates cholesterol, some animal studies show, mild laxative, diuretic, cognitive decline. So yeah, it can prevent cognitive decline. I can see it doing that. Strengthens the bone, can also feel that. The dandelion greens provide 535% of the recommended daily value of vitamin K, so I guess they're talking about 100 grams, because that's usually the method we use. So that's almost as much as kale. So this is 100% less only than kale. I'm not sure what else is high in vitamin K, if it was chard, or I can't remember the chart I've seen. But this is really close, really high up there then. This is almost equal to kale. And it might even be more absorbable from this, actually. Especially the little young leaves, because kale's very thick cellulose and it's very alkaline. You need to cut it with something acid like lemon in your smoothie for it to really absorb the vitamin K and so on in kale. So this might be a better way to get your vitamin K. It could be, because it's got to do with absorbability, not just what food has the most of something. Can you get it out of the food? Anyway, so there's 24 amazing uses that this article lists. Pain relieving salve. So you can infuse it into oil to make a balm and, you know, mix it with beeswax, like the comfrey balm I've showed you in the past on my Nutritional Road Trip 2015 video. A wart remover. So it has this white sap. So if you take the white sap from the roots and the leaves and the stem, it won't be in the stem so much. You can also remove warts with it if you can get enough of the sap to put it on several times a day. Basically, you want to keep the wart covered in the stuff. and that's the only way anything works. Like when they talk about bananas taking off warts, you have to leave the banana on there, and it'll heat it up and it will remove it. Lotion, because doctors tell me it won't, but it will. Lotion bars. This lotion will help you in the case. Try it for yourself, you know. Don't worry about what the idiot doctor says with their medical degree when they don't know anything. They're like, oh no, yeah, no, that won't work. Yeah, well, have you tried it? Have you spent 5 minutes? Oh. This lotion will help you, so you can make a lotion. Lavender essential oil, shea butter, and a bit of beeswax. Mix it with some dandelion oil. In the kitchen, you know, you can use the whole thing. Herbal vinegar, pumpkin seed pesto, tempura blossoms, sauteed greens and garlic, yep. Vegetarian risotto, pancake and waffle syrup, kimchi. Replace the cabbage with the dandelion greens and you can make some kimchi. Or you could also make sauerkraut, I guess, as well with it. Jelly, petal sorbet, a savoury muffin. Yeah, the petals did taste really nice. Savoury muffins is like a caramelly flavour to the petal. Cookies, iced lime and dandelion, dandelion blossom cake, Danish schnapps, 2 ways, dandelion root coffee. That's pretty much my favourite, just the dandelion root tea. Wine, home and garden, natural yellow dye, floating table centerpiece. Use reclaimed wood and small nails. Assemble a box of wood, hammer small finishing nails through the underside, and you should slide the dandelions on the top. Okay, I'd rather eat it. Bee food. Yeah, it's good bee food. The blossoms, of course. Feed goats, fertilizer. So there you go, and that's from that link there. So there's all the uses from many different sources and references on dandelions. This is Benjamin Callenberg from www.consciousazine.com.